Good day everyone! Today, we are going to show you on how to assess the cranial nerve. The cranial nerves are pairs of nerves that connect your brain to different parts of your head, neck, and trunk. The cranial nerves are composed of olfactory nerve, optic nerve, oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, trigeminal nerve, abducens nerve, facial nerve, vestibulocochlear nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, spinal accessory, and hypoglossal nerve. There are things we need to do. Number 1, provide privacy. Number 2, perform hand hygiene. And lastly, tell the patient what you will be doing. The first one to assess is the olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerve is the first cranial nerve and is instrumental in our sense of smell. The olfactory nerve contains only afferent sensory nerve fibers and, like all cranial nerves, is paired.
Okay, Justine, you're going to close your eyes and I'm gonna put something in front of your nose. So what can you smell? Menthol. This smells menthol, so her olfactory nerve is intact.
The second one that we are going to assess is the cranial nerve 2, which is the optic nerve. Optic nerve is a bundle of nerve fibers that serves as the communication cable between your eyes and your brain. In the optic nerve assessment, we will be doing two types of tests. The first one is the confrontation visual field. This visual field testing involves having the patient looking directly at your eyes or nose and testing each quadrant in the patient's visual field.
Okay, Justine, you're gonna cover your right eye and I'm gonna cover my left eye. And tell me how many fingers you can see on the upper and lower part of visual fields by just looking at it. 1, 5, 4, 3. And now cover your left eye and I'm gonna cover my right eye. 5, 4, 1.
The next test that we are going to do for the optic nerve assessment is the visual acuity. The visual acuity test is asked to determine the smallest letters you can read on a standardized chart or the Snellen chart.
Okay, Justine, read the lowest line that you can see while covering your right eye. D, E, F, T, O, T, E, C. Next, you need to cover your left eye. D, E, F, T, O, T, E, C. She did well, so her optic nerve is intact.
The third cranial nerve that we will be assessing is the oculomotor nerve. It enables eye movements such as focusing on an object that's in motion. Cranial nerve 3 also makes it possible to move your eyes up and down and side to side.
Okay, Justine, keep your head still and follow this object without moving your head.
She did well, so her oculomotor nerve is intact. The fourth cranial nerve that we will be assessing is the trochlear nerve. It enables movement in the eye's superior oblique muscle. This makes it possible to look down. The nerve also enables you to move your eyes toward your nose or away from it. Okay, Justine, you're gonna focus on an object and I'm gonna light your eyes to see if they will react. Oculomotor nerve is intact. The sixth cranial nerve that we will be assessing is the abducens nerve. The abducens nerve is examined in conjunction with the oculomotor and trochlear nerves by testing the movements of the eye. The patient is asked to follow a point with their eyes without moving their head. The abducens nerve is intact. The next one that we are going to assess is the trigeminal nerve, which is the cranial nerve 5.
So you're gonna have to clench your teeth like that. Yeah.
This one is called the maxillary nerve. This nerve branch is responsible for sensations in the middle part of your face. Maxillary refers to the upper jaw. And this one is called ophthalmic nerve. This branch sends nerve impulses from the upper part of your face and scalp to your brain. And lastly, the mandibular nerve. It involves motor function to help you chew and swallow. The next cranial nerve to assess is the facial nerve. It carries nerve fibers that control facial movement and expression.
Okay, princess, you're gonna have to close your eyes for me tightly. Smile, frown, and puff your face.
Facial nerve is intact. Let's now proceed to vestibulocochlear nerve. The vestibular nerve handles balance and equilibrium, while the cochlear nerve is responsible for hearing. In this test, I'm gonna include her ears and then I will whisper a word and she will tell me what she heard.
Burger.
And I'm gonna do it also on the other ear.
Chicken.
The next cranial nerve is the glossopharyngeal nerve. It is responsible for swallowing and the gag reflex, along with other functions. The glossopharyngeal nerve receives input from the general and special sensory fibers in the back of the throat. This can be tested with the gag reflex touching the pharynx with a tongue depressor or by touching the arches of the pharynx. The cranial nerve 10, which is vagus nerve, is intact because she's able to talk to me normally and she's able to swallow. The next cranial nerve is accessory nerve. Your accessory nerve is a motor nerve that controls the muscles in your neck. These muscles allow you to rotate, flex, and extend your neck and shoulders.
Princess, you need to move your head from side to side. Up and down. Okay. Try to shrug against my resistance.
Accessory nerve is intact. And lastly, the hypoglossal nerve. It is the 12th cranial nerve which is responsible for the movement of most of the muscles in your tongue.
Okay, princess, I want you to stick out your tongue and move it from side to side.
Hypoglossal nerve is intact.
And that's how we perform cranial nerve assessment. Bye!